Hello, everybody. Welcome into the Fallout Shelter. Scott Free, Believe, Jennifer Saigon, Denise Winterbottom. YouTube sucks. I love that screen name. I'll explain a little bit about that in a second. And Hodgepodge. Good to see all you guys. Much love to all of you. And thanks for stopping by on a Sunday afternoon. I know kind of a weird time for me, but in all honesty, we've got beautiful weather, and if I don't jump in here, look at that, Miss Fallout Shelter. Love you, honey. Glad you're joining us. I might want to do this before I get in trouble. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, including Mrs. Fallout Shelter. Very special Happy Mother's Day to you. Love Jesus, absolutely. You know, there's a lot of people, and I've not done it for a while, and I'll get that little copyright claim and all on this stream too, but dadgummit, there just wasn't any way I wasn't going to start this without people knowing exactly where I was on the issue. We stream nightly when we can at D-Live, and I tell everybody over there, we are the Father's Island of Misfit Toys. We probably are going to be the ones that have to stand up and really have to do some fighting, because the other ones, even though their hearts are in the right places, they're just dumbed down by the doctrine of society, in my opinion. Those are my opinions. Take them for what they're worth. Joni Vandy, good to see you. Yeah, a little laughing. I stream just about every night on D-Live, and I really do it. I have a good time. It's fun. And I try to get over here on YouTube during the day, but you know, it's pretty outside, and we're in the country and we're outside. So yeah, quantum dots have been around a while. See, people aren't paying attention to some of this, and I'm fixing to show y'all some things on some quantum dots, because we've been talking about this tech, well, I know for the last year, because it was already in the tech news when I started over at D-Live trying to learn how to do all of this a little bit. And we got the, anyway, let me just show you what I've some dots I've put together with some simple science news. And this isn't their mainstream propaganda. This is what they send back and forth to each other. MIT news. Crystal C, good to see you. Glad you're jumping in here today. Okay, let me just try. I've done got my stuff all messed up here. Y'all know how it goes sometimes. If I ever am ready, it'll be a disaster. Usually if I just hit the button and everything's still scattered, everything works out pretty good. You know, just works out that way sometimes. There we go, screen sharing. Now, let's review, because all over now you can hear about, everybody knows what a quantum dot is now because of the addition to the vaccination, so that it can be seen from a distance. So first and foremost, I do have these links in the description, and I'm going to go through some of the science news that they are sharing back and forth with each other, and then I will give you some older science news that you probably won't hear anymore about quantum dots, like their ability to store and transfer energy. And good to see you. Love all you guys. Appreciate you being here. Most of us are the prodigal children come back together, finding the truth and battling for the Father. There's going to only be a few real soldiers in the end, y'all know. Every year, a lack of vaccination leads to about 1.5 million preventable deaths. Every year, a lack of vaccination leads to way more propaganda about how we've got to stick a needle in your arm and how much more money Bill Gates can spend than any government in the world to make sure it happens. He funds stuff more than governments can fund it. And I don't need to get off on Bill Gates right now, or I'll never get into the story. I mean, it all comes back around, but one factor making vaccination campaigns in those nations more difficult is that there is little infrastructure for storing medical records. Huh. Well, I mean, how come we never built big computer systems and medical facilities over there? How come we didn't spend the billions of dollars with the philanthropy money back then to put that infrastructure in place for storing medical records. Because it's crap. It's not about storing medical records. It's not about your health. It's not about anything but knowing that we've stuck that whatever into that person. Yeah, you know, some people seem to have a problem. The people who have problems with DLive have real problems, and the people who don't, it's really good. But I will say this, they're updating a lot, so. And I will also say this, I'm trying my best to make a schedule where I'm streaming on YouTube as well as DLive, but I'm not going to do them on a restream because you just can't stream the same to both places and have what I consider to. I don't have fun. So if I'm not having some type of fun when I come on late at night, I can't do that here. I went on and talked with some people, and it just. You got to have some fun in your life, people. We can't live this way. If you live in this world 24/7, it will depress you. It will eat at you. And it will damage you. And that's not the life that our Father wanted for us to have. And I see y'all talking about damages. Yeah. I have a little story about that too I need to tell sometime. It's not on me. It's somebody I know with their child. One of probably the eye-openers for me. MIT researchers have now developed check this out, a novel way. They keep using this word novel now everywhere because of the novel coronavirus that came out in January, which I got some ideas, some things that people need to pay attention to on that too, about dates. MIT researchers have now developed a novel way to record a patient's vaccination history, storing the data in a pattern of dye invisible to the naked eye that is delivered under the skin at the same time as the vaccine. Dawn morning, hello, afternoon, good to see you. That's kind of a dawn morning afternoon, that's really a wild sentence when it's put together on the screen. Okay. I keep getting lost. I gotta quit paying attention. Or I gotta pay attention to something instead of all of it. In areas where paper vaccination cards are often lost or do not exist at all and electronic databases are unheard of, this technology could enable the rapid and anonymous detection of patient vaccine history to ensure that every child is vaccinated. And when they say every child, let me throw this up here for you really, really quick. When they say every child, well, you know they had this House resolution that came out, 6666, and it is literally called Testing, Reaching, and Contacting Everyone Act. Why do you think they're calling it Contact Tracer App? Contact everyone. Everyone. Wow, every time. That's wild. Absolutely, hodgepodge, absolutely. Okay, now I'm not going to go over this. This HR 66, I've read it, I've done some background looking into it. The main thing about the HR 66 is funding and data mining. Oh, you're not too late, I've only been on for a few minutes. Good to see you, Stephanie. Now, we know that the Gates patent, 2020-06-06-06, is a data mining for cryptocurrency where it mines it out of you. Now, now think about this. It mines it out of you. What does it do with it after that? Now, I'm not the smartest person in the world. There's probably some really smart people out there that could get a hold of this information and really make a great presentation. I hope I do it some type of justice right here. Okay, this bill is for where all the money can go to all of these little facilities that are going to be hiring all of these contact tracing people, like Ventura County, where they're hiring 60 in one county, and they're saying military training is helpful. medical testing, military training, government funding. Okay. We take that part of it. And now we go down here to the bottom where they usually have if you go to look through a law or a bill, at the bottom it'll have terms. And if they want you to know what that term means, well, they'll give you a great explanation right there. Like, look, the term hotspot means a geographic area where the rate of infection with the virus that causes COVID-19 exceeds the national average. Okay, well, I can understand that term. I don't agree with what they got going on, but I understand that term. Hey, Susie, good to see you. Welcome in today. But you get down to the next one. The term medically underserved community. Now, I don't understand why the term underserved is put together. But medically underserved community has the meaning given to that term in Section 799B of the Public Health Service Act 42 U.S.C. 295P. Which means, and I've got to go hunt this definition if I want to know what it means, because it's not going to be in this bill. Well, the term secretary means the Secretary of Health and Human Services. But this one's not there. So, me being the I got to know what that means person, I went and found it. And I'm not sure, and I think the page reset. Okay, well, it's way down there somewhere, and the links are in the description if you want to go dig it up. Let me give you a basic thing. It means rural areas. It means urban areas. It means places where billionaires like Gates, Soros, Bezos, all of these philanthropists who donate to these organizations can put their little nonprofits in these areas, and basically they'll run that area, no matter what the other results of that are. Now, give the fact that those organizations will be given authority to go, hey, Lynette, good to see you. Long night last night. And Rare Breeds, if y'all are listening, and I don't remember your name over here, but Big Ash Mo, if you're listening, y'all hung out with me late last night for a minute. These underserved areas, schools can get these grants. They can train teachers to become contact tracers, which basically turns them into social workers, because the laws are now being written. This one is about funding, which a lot of people will go, okay, well, you're talking about now it's a HR 666 and it's about funding. Absolutely, it's about funding. What is the number of the beast going to be about? Buying, selling, trading, worshiping, living. All of these numbers go back to funding. It's about data mining, as so is Bill Gates' 666 cryptocurrency. It's all data mining. Now, keep in mind the data mining. That's going to come into play a little bit more with the quantum dots here in a minute. Some stuff that, some stuff that is old that people aren't going to bring back up. I'm not going to continually beat these, the vaccination articles. They're all the same. Let's go to right here. This is IEEE Spectrum. This is a highly, highly regarded science publication. It's nothing else. They're not conspiratorial. They're not talking back and forth. This is what they talk back and forth with. MIT researchers put quantum dots into microspheres made of PMMA, a material that improves biocompatibility. Shown here are the quantum dots after being administered to rodents. I remember a faded yellow booklet about the size of a wallet that my mother used to pull out once a year at the doctor's office to record my vaccines. Today, nurses document my children's vaccination history in electronic health records that will likely follow them to adulthood. You got electronic health records that are likely going to follow you to hell. Just saying. They got to be connected. I mean, where does www. End up at? Really? I know. I know a lot of it's opinion. It's just mine, though. Hey, and let me tell y'all something. The views and opinions shared by the Fallout Shelter are not necessarily the views of YouTube, its affiliates, and anybody broadcasting down the line. But they dang well should be. Now a team of MIT bioengineers has developed a way to keep invisible vaccine records under the skin, delivered through a microneedle patch, biocompatible quantum dots, biocompatible quantum dots, and embed the skin and fluorescent under near infrared light, creating a glowing trace that can be detected at least 5 years after vaccination. Oh, well, that means you got to get it done more than once. Oh, we started thinking about using a dye, blah, 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 blah. Okay, we're kind of done talking about that. Most everybody here has heard quantum dots. They've heard the mark of the beast. They've heard Bill Gates vaccinations. Have you heard of the flying saucer quantum dot holds secret to brighter, better lasers? Probably not, because this came out on March 20th of 2017. Okay. Flying saucer, why ever they got to name it flying saucer, quantum dots hold secret to brighter lasers. Okay, so we've got quantum dots are going to make lasers. I thought lasers like lit up gases and vacuums of plasmas and yeah, I don't really know, but I mean, you know, that's kind of the way it's been understood. Fresh insights into living cells. Living cells. Huh. That's interesting. Brighter video projectors. Well, that's real interesting. And more accurate medical tests. So you're telling me the three great things that are from this are we get a better video projector, we get fresh insights into living cells, and accurate medical tests. How are those three all connected? They're not. But the better video projectors to make everybody go, ooh, better video, ah. Like I'm not mesmerized and hypnotized by what's on them big screens all the time anyway. I can't look away. Now, the new method developed by an international research team from U of T Engineering, Vanderbilt University, the Los Alamos National Laboratory, the energy laboratory for the Department, one of the energy laboratories for the Department of Energy for the United States of America, and others, produce continuous laser light that is brighter, less expensive, and more tunable than current devices. Now, I'm going to skip down just a little bit. This just gets into their size, 5,000 times smaller than a human hair. And it says they are, oh, check this out. This is what should scare you about the mark of the beast part on this. And I don't mean scared as in, this is what should get your attention. We've been working with quantum dots for more than a decade, says Ted Sargent, a professor in the Edward S. Rogers Senior Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering at U of T. They are more than 5,000 times smaller than the width of a human hair, which enables them to straddle the worlds. Enables them to straddle the worlds of quantum and classical physics and gives them useful optical properties. Now pay attention to this, because this is the I've been looking for this article for a while, and it took me a while to find it back because they had kind of buried it. but I had saved a link to it months ago when we went over it. Quantum dots are well-known bright light emitters, says Alex something, a senior research associate in Sargent's lab. Listen, they can absorb a lot of energy and re-emit it at a particular frequency. What are we? We are energy. They can absorb, not only can they absorb energy, they absorb a lot of energy. And they re-emit it at a particular frequency, which makes them a particularly suitable material for lasers. So the same material that can absorb a lot of energy, re-emit it at a particular tunable frequency, makes it particularly suitable material for lasers, is also a material that's really suitable to stick under your skin to show that you've had your vaccination. What kind of world do we live in where those two things are even close to the same? Transhumanism. Right. There you go, Captain Rankin. I've been talking about harvesting human energy on D-Live. It was one of the first topics that ran up into my head. I prayed over that, and I had no idea why I was reading about those topics, but I get it now. My first anything that I put together was called the tech that's going to enslave the world, and we'll click I agree all the way. And this was the type of stuff in it. Transhumanism. Control. By carefully controlling the size of the quantum dots, the researchers in Sargent's lab can tune the frequency or color of the emitted light to any desired value. By contrast, most commercial lasers are limited to one specific frequency or a very small range defined by the materials they are made from. Now, when you get into the fact that, and I can't find this again, but I will, a lot of companies are starting to change out their lighting because this new lighting is actually carrying and storing data in the ultraviolet spectrum. You won't need the repeaters and all of the routers all around the buildings because it will automatically happen in the lighting. Got to find that back. All of this is going to work together. The ability to produce a laser of any desired frequency from a single material would give a boost to scientists looking to study diseases at the level of tissues or individual cells by offering new tools to probe biochemical reactions. This is what they want to mark your... I don't got any to spare either, Susie. It's already getting tough. Why? You can't breathe the air, you can't drink the water, and you can't eat the food. You know, that's kind of three necessities right there. I don't know about y'all, but I still have a few addictions in life. I'm addicted to water, I'm addicted to oxygen, and I'm addicted to food. You know, I know it's an addiction because I can't live without them. Okay, I think I'm through with that one. I know these articles are in the descriptions because I had them up when I was getting ready. Where'd I go? What did I do? Okay, I'm going to pop over a couple of these other headlines. I'm not going to get into these in depth. The links are there if y'all want to read some of these. I'm going to move on. We're going to get into something else that happened in China. Y'all will be highly interested in, I think. There we go. I can see again. This was February 27th, 2020. Scientists create solar panel by combining protein and quantum dots. Scientists at the National Research Nuclear University in Russia have created a new type of solar panel based on hybrid material consisting of quantum dots and photosensitive protein. Well, look, I'm not a scientist, but let me tell y'all, I think I'm a photosensitive protein. I mean, if another animal killed me and cooked me and ate me, I'm sure there would be some protein in it. And I burn in the sun, so I'm photosensitive. So does that mean if they put quantum dots in me, they could be trying to turn me into a solar device? I didn't even stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. I just wonder. It's something. And they'll be like, no, it's safe. You would have to have a ton of aluminum in your body for that. Oh yeah, quantum dots are made out of iron and aluminum. I don't have that information up, but I will have it and put it in a short video. I do have something somewhere that gives a breakdown of what they're made out of, and you can purchase them, I believe, on Amazon. But there's so little. How would you know what was in the bag? You know what I mean? Be like getting home from the corner and be like, hey man, he ripped me off. Make sure you always go to a trusted quantum dot dealer when buying your own. The results of the MEPHL study were published in Biosensors and Bioelectronics. Biosensors and Bioelectronics. Archaeal proteins of unicellular organisms, bacteria hodopsin. I should probably pre-read some of this stuff and get a little more acquainted with it before I just start to talk. I refuse to wear one too, Susie. Not gonna do it. Although I wish I had a bandana that I could tie around my face, and on the front right here where the mouth is, I would like for it to read, "Remember when this meant stick 'em up?" I'd walk around with that on all day probably. I'd probably get in trouble too. Acts as a proton pump, which makes it a ready-to-use natural element of the solar panel. So, we're going to use quantum dots to make solar panels. You can make colloidal quantum dot laser diodes, because Los Alamos, you know, the government's arm of the Department of Energy is out there working on it. I mean, and we know the Department of Energy don't do anything controversial, right? They wouldn't have anything crazy out there that would be given, I don't know, weird problems and things of that nature. Well, this technology can potentially revolutionize numerous fields from photonics and optoelectronics to chemical sensing and medical diagnostics, as well as letting Bill Gates know who all he stuck a needle in the world. Because he's paying for it all anyway. All right, while it's on my mind, I want to tell everybody, you can do this research. I will do my best to have it back up. It is in some earlier streams, and unlike a lot of these guys that do this all the time, I can't go back and look for it. I'd have no idea where it's at. But y'all have heard this. I know y'all have heard some people go, okay, it's a virus. It can only be injected. I kind of tend to follow that line of thinking on a true virus. Bill Gates has funded in Wuhan, China, geoengineered mosquito research. He is the #1 funder of geoengineered mosquito research in the world. Along as being the #1 funder of geoengineering, blocking out the sun, carbon engineering, carbon capturing, and, trying to stick a needle in everybody in the world. Quantum dot displays and television sets are already available as commercial products. The colloidal quantum dot lasers seem to be next in line. Well, I guess we're going to need that laser so we can connect to everybody that has the dot on their skin. All right, now that's all I really got to say about that. I do want to point to the CDC, where they're talking about contact tracing. Remember the contact tracing. That is part of the name of the law now. Contacting everyone. The article from Ventura County, where at the bottom, the contact tracers will then get in contact with anyone who may have been exposed to that person and ask them to monitor themselves, checking their temperature twice a day. I got something I'd ask them to do to themselves too, and I probably couldn't stream it. Contact investigators reach out in several ways, including calling and making home visits. Yeah, I don't think you're going to want to visit. Not here. I'm going to be honest with you. Most of y'all know this already. Got in trouble when I was younger. I can't have a gun. You come through my door, you probably going to wish I'd have never got in trouble and had a gun. If it is someone that is refusing, we will definitely consult with our health officer. Officer. That means somebody that has the authority to make you obey the law. Or you go down with a fight. I mean, they can't make you, but they can come with force to look into the next step. See, they won't actually just come out in the news and go, to look into dragging you out of your freaking house, said Chris O'Neillis, who is a contact tracing nurse in Ventura, who still has his job, obviously, and is getting paid. The person who originally tested positive stays in isolation for 14 days. Oh, wait, I missed one. If they are not able to isolate themselves in the home, or if we determine that there might be a high-risk family member in the house, if they determine there might be a high-risk family member in the house. Now listen. Here's my problem with this. Even though I know most of the America is so asleep, they're having trouble to know what's right for the people in their house. That's not on us. It's on them for buying into the programming, not actually trying to find out things for themselves, for laughing at all of the things that we say to them. And right now we're looking at them going, I told you this was going to happen. And they're like, yeah, you couldn't have knew this was going to happen. I've been telling you for 10 years this was going to happen. And a couple of people see it. That's when you have to eat that, I told you it was going to happen, and you have to just tell them what they need to do the best they can. But they're fixing to, when they pass this tracing law, and it becomes law, that's when we really have to fight, because as long as it's an order, we have a constitutional right. We are going to have to fight. We're going to have to fight this on the grounds that it goes into law. I'm not that smart a guy. I'm bringing it out and we'll just see what happens day to day. I don't know. My life's changed so much over the last year that I could have never guessed this is where we would have been. Oh, wow. The fruit and goat came back positive. Check that out. Yeah, look, I believe we could all be having a little bit of reactions to geoengineering products. Does anybody remember that during the coronavirus, ScopeX has happened? You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember ScopeX? David Keith, Bill Gates, Harvard University, going to spray the sun. Real popular topic for, 10 years. Coronavirus happens and I think if they gave us a true test for whatever they're calling this, we would all test positive. I think that's the whole point. And when you're positive, they can do what they want. They can pick and choose positive. There's a bunch of names I see in here and I see on my own, probably on that little list. But that is what it is. They got to come to the woods and get me, which I know they will, but I'm not going to make it easy on them. Okay, let me go over one more topic with y'all before I cut out of here today and go help Miss Fall out in the garden. Try to get back on a YouTube thing. I have some other topics I'd really like to talk to y'all about too. But I want to get this one in there. I'm going to be doing a lot deeper digging into this. Yeah, test unreliable. Yeah, gave them human names and ages. My mother's in the hospital right now with pneumonia, and her nurses and doctors and her social worker know exactly how I feel about this because I ain't hold back to none of them. And not one of them, I asked them, well, she got COVID? No, she ain't got COVID. She's got pneumonia. There ain't many people up here in the hospital, blah, blah, blah. So, I have to try to remember that. Hodge, if you happen to make it to D-Live or something, or if there's anybody in there that is in the D-Live group, right, snag that for me, please, and remind me later. Thank you, man. Okay. Next topic for just a minute. I've been saying there's some crazy stuff going on in the skies as far as what airplanes are doing. I've believed something was being tested. Well, this is fossil fuel-free jet propulsion with air plasmas by American Institute of Physics. Thank all you guys. I was actually going to do this stream here on YouTube yesterday, and I had it set up and was coming on, and I got the phone call that they had to move her back into the hospital, and that's why I just kind of lost my steam at that point. You know what I mean? And but my wife helped me out and pushed me and got me back on D-Live late last night, and I said, you know what, I got to do this today or it's not going to happen. All right, I want y'all to pay attention to where this comes from, and remember that this article was written by the American Institute of Physics on May the 5th. May the 5th, fossil fuel-free jet propulsion with air plasmas by the American Institute of Physics. A team of researchers at the Institute of Technological Sciences at Wuhan University has demonstrated a prototype device that uses microwave air plasmas for jet propulsion. A team of researchers at the Institute of Technological Sciences. That's also where the BSL-4 level containment facility is in Wuhan. At Wuhan University has demonstrated a prototype device that uses microwave air plasmas for jet propulsion. Thanks, all you guys. And I really do appreciate all of the prayers because I know it helps. I know that's the only thing that's actually kept her with me so far. Kurt, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Welcome in. All right. I'm going to read. Have a great day, Lynette. Hope to see you tonight. A team of researchers at the Institute of Technological Sciences at Wuhan, hey, POV. Much love back from Mississippi. Much love back. Good to see you, too. You know what? I've been needing to do that right there. Okay. Maybe I'll do some more talking on that in a minute. Okay, check this out. One more time. A team of researchers at the Institute of Technological Sciences at Wuhan, you know, home of the Wuhan Kung Flu, demonstrated a prototype device that uses microwave air plasmas. Well, the motivation of our work is to help solve the global warming problems owing to humans' use of fossil fuel combustion engines while frying their brains. Thank you, Kurt. I appreciate it. Beyond solid, liquid, and gas, plasma is the fourth state of matter consisting of an aggregate of charged ions. It exists naturally in places like the sun's surface and Earth's lightning, but it can also be generated. The researchers created a plasma jet by compressing air into high pressures and using a microwave to ionize the pressurized airstream. Has anybody looked up lately at the sky? Every once in a while, you might see something that resembles what a cloud used to look like. And they can't make it fluffy so that it looks like a bunny. They can make it look like, I don't know, dragons. Rough edges and fire breathing and wispies everywhere is what I call them. They look like wispies, not fluffy and You know, the bunnies. You lay on the ground and go, ooh, there's a turtle and a bunny. Look, I still got that kind of mentality, but I can't lay on the ground and turn a demon into a bunny. It just won't happen. I can look at those demon eyes all they want, and they just don't turn into bunnies. Generation. Okay, I've been talking about the tokamak and the way it works and the running plasma around in a circle. The sky's the same thing. If they can get enough plasma moving at a rate of speed in the atmosphere, and I don't get it, I'm not a scientist, but all this is making a big jumbled up picture in my head, and I'm trying to get it out there because there's one of y'all out there that's going to be able to move it along in a different direction, and we'll all eventually maybe come up with a half-truth to what's really happening. I still think some of the airplanes are running off of small nuclear reactors. I say that because I've videoed planes that are absolutely silent and they're blowing the largest frozen nucleated chemtrail out the back you can see. And then I've got some that are silent and have nothing on the same day, same time. We know that means sometimes they sound like air compressors. I've been around industry all my life. I grew up working around military jets. I understand what an airplane sounds like. I've been around military big planes taking off, landing. I used to sit and watch the refuelers do touch and goes. That's pretty interesting when you watch really big planes practice touch and go takeoffs. I know what an airplane sounds like. I've done sandblasting most of my life. I know what high pressure air sounds like. They are different. Just saying. So this is something new, and it just popped up, and when it did, also right next to it was researchers developed metallic polymers by exploiting topological order and whatever this little symbol means, conjugation. I would try to act like I know what I mean, but if I start doing that, people read through it. Researchers at IMDEA Nanociencia, Universidad Autónoma de Madrid, and Universidad Complutense de Madrid have presented a new strategy to fabricate quasi-metallic 1D polymers with atomic precision. And if there's any curse words in science, there's a whole mouthful of them right there. In collaboration with the Czech Academy of Science, EMPA, Zurich, Switzerland, and RCATM, and if y'all know what any of them are, y'all have no business sitting here listening to me. Burnout Rage, good to see you. Welcome in. This investigation advances the possibility of designing stable organic polymers with vanishing electronic band gaps and something. See, but it was right next to fossil-free jet fuel propulsion. And then also this was a click that come from October 9th, 2018. So once again, we go back a few years, and I wasn't doing this then, so I missed it. Breakthrough new research shows that ionization-induced self-channeling of a microwave beam can be achieved at a significantly lower power of the microwave beam and gas pressure for radially non-uniform plasma with minimal on-axis density. Basically, I think that means they can shoot stuff down from space with microwaves. And as we know, PG&E actually has paid to buy power that is harvested solarly and then shot down to a tower with a microwave beam. And you know, oddly enough, they had one around Paradise, California. And when Paradise caught on fire, that was kind of when they started that contract with that company. Just saying. Gotta watch what's going on. How do we get solar power if we block the sun? Well, it's easy. Oh man, it hit me. Bam. They started blocking the sun, and they realized, oh, wait a minute, we got this plasma. We can't get the power from the sun. So they had to come up with a way to channel through the plasma, and they do that with intense microwave pulses. And they found out while they were using intense microwave pulses to channel through the plasma, they could also harvest that energy and send it down to basically a 5G tower or some type of harnessing tower where they could actually move kilo and megawatts of electricity And then they started setting the world on fire after they... Golly, y'all. There's at some point... I thought I had a picture going together there, but I lost it. I think y'all got it, though. I think y'all got it. Okay, well, that's all that I'm going to bring about today. I'm going to try to do a little more in-depth stuff on the... Oh, yeah, it's not just fuel. Now, no, it's not jet fuel. There are actually some airplanes right now. I do know this, and I don't know if experimental, if they put it in or what. Check this out. There is a thing that's called cold gas firing jet thrusters, which basically uses a compressed gas to fire a jet engine. I know that it's been done at small levels because it's been done on motorcycles and cars. And they put out more thrust than the jet engines that were on like the jet dragsters. I just have, with the end of the world happening and, Agenda 21 falling right in our laps like that, I kind of had to change my direction of what I was looking into. But I have some other things that I am trying to put together. This tracer stuff, there's a lot of information on it. Oh, here we go. This is the thing about the Scopex. I don't think this is in the description, so I'm going to put it in the chat over here. But hey, keep in mind, our Father comes back, not in a spirit of peace next time, but with a sword. All right, Crystal C., you have a good evening. We're fixing to go out, too. We're going to have our prayer here in just a second, and I'm going to be done, and I'm going to go see what Miss Fallout's out there doing. I'm sharing this link with y'all. It'll be coming back up. It's by Jesse Reynolds on May 6th. A solar geoengineering milestone goes largely unnoticed. The first explicit, meaningful outdoor test garnered little attention in the news or from environmentalists. I'm going to put together a video on this shortly, next day or two, and have it up. The Scopex project, Harvard blocking the sun, Bill Gates happened during this pandemic. Apple will warn you if you've been exposed to COVID-19, contact tracing. And I'm doing some look into the murder hornets. If any of y'all have anything over there that you would like to pray about right now would be the time. You can leave your request in the chat. We'll have a little ending prayer. And see, I don't know, man. I just have a lot of ideas and theories about what's going on, so that I'm paying a good bit of attention to it. No. Me and my wife had that last night. She even, when I was telling her that, she got online and looked up how the fuel goes into the plane. I said, now think about this. I used to sell racing fuel. So we've seen the truck come in and how much it delivered to me. I said, now how many of them trucks would we got to stack on each wing? And what it came down to is you'd have to stack like 9 fuel trucks on each wing to fill what they said was going in there up. It's not physically possible. Period. That's not a conspiracy. You could not put that much fuel on that airplane. I pray that I'll wake up too, Ann, and I think we're all doing our job a little bit. And one of the times, the way it happens, hey, Miss Fallout. Okay. That's the way it happens, one at a time. And maybe they get one at a time, and maybe they get one at a time. And I do pray for our president. I don't agree with him, but I do. That's why I gave you a wrench. You have to be able to protect yourself in here. You know I love you. I actually have been working also on praying for my enemies. Ooh, that's a hard one for me. I remember the killer bees. I do. Pray for the souls of the people. And I also pray for the peace of the people. We, as the American people, we are America. Not a piece of paper, not a constitution. T. Luke, I'm going to ask this because we are praying for Nikki from Texas. Is this a different Nikki? I just wanted to know so I'm not praying, so we do it separately. We are the country. There's no piece of paper that actually makes us that country. We are people. We have that choice. We don't need that piece of paper to make the right choice. Thermite bombs. I'll get into that sometime too from my construction background and my fuel background as far as temperatures and all that. Yeah. That's right. Look, the praying mantis kills the murdered hornets. Yeah, we'd found that last night. And what's odd is this house that we're at right now is the first house I guess we've ever been at that just has praying mantises. Yeah. So, all right, everybody. Father, we thank you for allowing us to come together. Good time, fellowship. Try to lightheartedly see what's going on and be able to pass it around in a way that's not fearful and scary, and that we can have good time while we're doing so. I thank you for all the people here. You know what everybody has going on. You know that my mind scatters, so first of all, I want to pray for the people of the country, that you'll keep your hand on all of us. The ones that are awake, the ones that are not, that no matter what happens, our spirit of peace can overcome whatever. And that we don't allow the evil that's running this world to take care of us, or to rule over us. For all of the people that don't know you, I pray that you would put a tug on their heart, put people in their lives, maybe not that hound them, but they can see a difference in the way they live. And we pray for the souls of all these people that may just not know that even when you hung on that cross, you prayed that the Father would forgive the ones that hung you on that cross because they didn't know what they'd done. I pray for all the people now that don't know what they do, Father. Father, I ask you to be with T. Luke's friend, Nikki. Okay, that is Nikki that we're already praying for. Father, you know all the situation there. And we ask you to send down and to give a supernatural touch, a supernatural healing. Be with her. Give her that support that she so happily gives to everybody she comes in contact with that would never know that she was going through anything. Father, our president that's over this country, whether agree or disagree, he does have some type of ability. And I pray that whatever you got in mind, that get him to follow whatever it is for us, but that it's your will that's done, and somehow it helps to fight that evil. Father, you know I don't know how to pray about things I disagree with. You know I don't know how to pray for my enemies that well. I just ask that you know in my heart I'm trying. Father, anything that people have put in here and I may have missed, you see it when I don't. And I ask you to touch them. I ask you to cover them. I ask you to put the full armor on us daily, because we're not going to see a spirit of peace. We're going to see a sword. And I pray that you help us to get ready for that battle. You bring us all together to stand for them fiery darts, and that most of all you give us the ability to speak boldly, first of all the gospel, and then the truth about what's going on. And Father, I thank you mostly for Jesus coming, taking that beating so that we could ask for healing, dying, fighting Satan, and being resurrected mostly and importantly so that we could have salvation directly to you. I thank you for all these things. It's in his name that I pray. All right, everybody. I think that went fairly well for a Sunday afternoon stream on YouTube. I'm glad I finally got on here and got the quantum dot stuff out of the way. I think that quantum dot thing, there's so much there to look into. I just put quite a few things together. I agree with that. They, the infiltrators of America, are testing for Americans. That's a true virus being tested for. That's a that's a mouthful right there. And agree. Agree. I'm so happy I got Miss Fallout. She comes in here with me now, especially during the prayers, and she does come in and chat a little bit, and all that good stuff. So, well, I love all you guys. I appreciate y'all hanging out, but I think it's time to get out of this dark room for a little bit and see some of this sunlight. Try to get a little bit of vitamin D coming through, and all of that good stuff. So. Hopefully, I will see all of you somewhere in a chat room tonight or over on the D Live stream. The links for D Live are in the description. And I hope you all have a great day. Go make the best out of it if you got beautiful weather. And I'm going to leave you with a little quote from Peter Griffin about your medications on the way out the door. Love you guys. Have a great day.
The Sanguelto! My blood's thinner than water! If taking Sanguelto, please refrain from dancing like in a rom-com, as nosebleeds may be permanent. And remember, most drugs are prescribed to you because a hot girl with a rolling suitcase gave your doctor a free pen.